This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MGM Marbella. We're in Port Banús here at MGM Marbella. With me, I've got former IBF middleweight champion. Do you remember that time, Dan?
Well, very short-lived,
Darren.
So I've been mugged off by Buffer, now you. I've been bakered off by Buffer, now Dan.
Dan Barker.
Yeah.
Obviously you've come out here, support the show tomorrow night. Matthew Macklin's fighting, but you've probably been out to Port Banús before?
Been here a few times, yeah. A few times. I can't really remember them, but I have been here, I think.
So, just here, working holiday?
No, well, yeah, a little bit. Obviously, Matthew's a friend of mine now, so supporting him. The first time I've been here to see the gym, which is unbelievable. I mean, honestly, if there's any boxing fans out there who want to come down, this is not a plug at all, I'm just saying, that gym is unbelievable. I'm telling you, it's got everything in there, everything you'd want. There's a car here, mate.
We'll just have to move out of the way, standing right in the middle of the road here.
Yeah, no, so it's a fantastic gym. I didn't expect it to be as big and as good as it is, but yeah, brilliant. So yeah, I'm pretty much out here for the fight, doing little bits and pieces, and I'm out here with, I'm sure you're going to interview him after, Kev Mitchell, and a good friend of mine, Luke, who used to sponsor me.
Yeah. You should get him in a video once, shouldn't you?
I don't know, if you're watching this at home, it's pissing down, isn't it? So it's nice to get away, get a bit of sun.
So when I said working holiday, it's really holiday, isn't it? Or are you actually doing any work here?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh yeah?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, okay. Why isn't there a Barker's gym anywhere?
I don't know. I don't know. You'd never see me in it, that's for sure. But like I say, I can't say how impressed I am with it. It's unbelievable. Yeah. But I was saying, I mean Kev, then you wouldn't mind. I'd have a training camp out here all day long.
They're signing a lot of fighters, but also there's a lot of boxers like Billy Joe Saunders who used his camp against for the Andy Lee fight. So a lot of Luke Campbell's out here recently. A lot of boxers do come in.
It's just the distractions though. That's the worry.
They'll only distract you if you let them distract you. So it depends on how much of a strong-willed person you are.
I was quite disciplined and quite strong-willed, but there's distractions.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's Marbella, isn't it? Nightlife is what it is.
But still, brilliant location, fantastic, and been very well welcomed here. You know, warm welcome. It's been really nice.
Funnily enough, though, a lot of boxers who do come here and train, you'd think they would get distracted by obviously that sort of party scene and all that, but they don't. They come here and they do their stuff. They're up at 6 in the morning up that Istan Hill thing, and they do their runs and things.
Yeah.
And
I suppose similar. We had a couple of 2-3 training camps in Tenerife. It's the same there. You know, those are the strip and bars there. You wouldn't even contemplate it. Like you say, I've liked to think I used to train quite hard. Hence my body being smashed to pieces.
You look alright, in alright shape.
Hips banging trouble, elbows are battered, but yeah.
Ask your opinion about a fight coming up, Golovkin Lemieux, October 17th in New York. Sorry, that was a bird.
It was a little shit then.
That was a bird. What did you make of that fight?
Oh, so it's a 2-3 round job, I think.
Really?
I think Golovkin absolutely destroys him. I mean, I've watched a lot of Lemieux, and to be fair, I asked Tony when I was fighting, I would have happily fought Lemieux. You know what I mean? Though I don't think I had the greatest chin out there, I think I would have beaten David Lemieux. But he can whack, and he's dangerous. And I see an interview with Golovkin. I think they played on what he said a little bit, saying he's scared. I mean, he's not scared, is he? He's just, I suppose, he's cautious of the fact that he can whack a bit. But that's all he's got. I mean, Golovkin is on another level. He's ridiculously good. Not only can he whack, his boxing skill, I think, it's phenomenal. You know, it's unbelievable. And I think, like I say, 2-3 round job.
Nevertheless, it's an interesting matchup between these two. Obviously, Lemieux showing promise in his career, and Golovkin is what he is. So,
what it is, that gets the fight fans excited. You know, when you look at the percentage, the knockout percentage is, I mean, combined, it's got to be in the 90s. So there is the chance. You can't bluff having a punch. Even if you fight bums, you still got to get them out of there. You know, they still want to. You know, a journeyman wants to last as long as he can, can't he? You know, so he can fight the next week. So you still got to blast the guys out of there. So he's, you know, he can whack. And that's what's exciting about it. But that's it for me. The fact that they can both punch is it. Because Golovkin, you know, it's a 2-3 round job. I'll be shocked if it goes further than that.
I suppose Oscar De La Hoya obviously signed Lemieux a few months ago, and there was some hype over him, because I remember Sky showing a bit about Lemieux a couple of years ago, and no one really knew who he was back then. And even after that, people were still a little bit unaware of who Lemieux is. But
it's bums on seats, isn't it? It's the fact that he bangs people out. People want to see that. And I mean, as human beings, we've always been like him in the Colosseum. You just want to see people get hurt and killed. You know, we're nuts as a race. So the fact that he bowls people over, people buy into that, don't they? But I think you're coming up. He's a decent, you know, he's a world champion. He's a decent fighter. I mean, that Hassan and Dam, he's no mug. He was a good fighter, and he's floored him a few times. So people like it. They buy into it, and you know, Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy, they're not stupid. They're not mugs, so they know. Like I say, he'll put bums on seats, but Golovkin's on another level. Ridiculous.
We shall see. Did you get into a bit of Twitter beef the other day?
Apparently, yeah.
With another former world champion?
I wouldn't call it beef, I was just making a case.
It was about
as a boxing fan, okay, I said, I don't know if anyone see it, I said that I don't class the IBO, the WBF or the WBU as a world title, and a lot of people give me stick about Ricky Hatton, etc. Ricky Hatton won a genuine world title. No, I don't think anyone, and probably Ricky would be the same, I don't think he was classing himself as a world champion off of that. You know, he's and Robin Reed come back anyway and said that, you know, he begs to differ. But I respect every fighter, anyone who gets in the ring at any level. It's nothing to do. I just don't respect them titles. You know, some great champions have had the IBO, but I think as a boxer and a boxing fan now, I've sort of got to defend boxing. And where does it end? You can have numerous world titles now, and people saying the world champion. It's madness. That's all I'm saying. You know, we've got to keep it at 4 genuine world titles. I mean, we've got the WBA. I don't know what is going on with the WBA.
That's probably the thing that sits in the middle of everything, where some people counter argument that the WBA regular champion isn't really the champion. It's always whoever's holding the super belt, you know, of the WBA.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's confusing for fans. It's confusing for.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So if you class IBO and WBF, it's nuts. Do you know what I mean? We've got to, as boxers and boxing fans, we have got to dismiss them, get rid of them, and that's all I'm saying. I want to stay true to boxing. I don't want it to get nuts. You know what I mean? And it drives me mad that, you know, UFC's getting so much praise because they've got one title, and for that I respect them. You know, you have to respect the fact they've only got one title, as far as I'm aware they have. But it's nuts. And anyway, he started piping up saying blah blah blah, and but you know, good luck to him. He's definitely a 3-time world super middleweight champion.
Well, like I said, everyone's got their own opinion on
good luck to him.
On what these things are. But
I'm not absolutely no
where's
problem
stand
with him.
on
I'm a fan of his.
I called him out the other day, by the way.
I was a supporter of Robin's. I've got no problem whatsoever with him, and I hope he enjoys his retirement. You know, that's as far as the argument of the beef goes. He won't entice me into getting in the ring or anything nuts like that. You know, it's madness.
Where's your standpoint on the WBA regular title then?
Honestly, because right, I think it's absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Well, let me give you a scenario.
Right. Okay.
Let me give you a scenario. Right. So let's talk about Carl Froch. Right. Yeah. So Carl Froch held at super middleweight the IBF version and the WBA regular. Now, he obviously vacated his IBF title, the one that James Segal's got now, left with the WBA. Now, so Carl Froch with the WBA, would you call him not a real world champion?
Was there a super champion at the time?
Yes, which was Andre Ward.
Then
it's complicated, isn't it? Because,
he's such a great calibre of fighter. So
you wouldn't say, oh no, you're not a real champion because you've got that WBA.
It's
a real belt now that Frank Buglioni's fighting for.
For instance, I was a WBA regular champion and there was a super champion. Me personally, I think it was not. I wouldn't really class myself as a world champion. The fact that in that governing body there's a world champion better than me. So how could I class myself as a WBA champion when there's a WBA super? Personally, for me, I wouldn't be happy with it. If I retired just winning the WBA regular, I don't think deep down I would be proud. Not proud. That's wrong. That's the wrong word. Not proud. I don't think I could truly class myself as a world champion. And don't get me wrong, I'm not standing here saying I was the best ever champion. I was a flash in the pan. I won the title and that was it. But for me, it weren't about defending the titles. I'm not a fighter, you know. I just wanted to win a world title. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I'm some nutty great world champion that opinion counts. But you know, it is my opinion.
I think the bottom line is it is a confusing, complicated situation. There was another instance when Jamie McDonnell, who's a WBA regular champion, fought Kameda, and they wouldn't sanction it to be sort of unification.
Yeah.
So Kameda give up his WBO belt, which he held at the time, to fight for Jamie's WBA belt. So, I mean, Kameda's recognised as one of the best in that weight, if not the best.
How do you become WBA super?
It's the WBA that obviously, it's like Golovkin.
It's mad.
Golovkin, in your way, is the super champion, but it took a while for them to elevate him to super champion. I think something the WBA do, you know.
Yeah, look, what's your view on it? What do you think? If you'd won the WBA regular and you retire, but there was a standout name in your division who was super champion, how do you stand on it? How would you?
I don't think. Listen, it's not the boxer's fault for a start.
No, of course not.
It's not the boxer's fault
for
for
one
a start.
second saying.
And I do understand what you're saying, but we've got this problem in every weight with the WBA.
Yeah.
The only one I think recognised weight that they don't do this with is the lightweight, because Darlis Perez, who hopefully Anthony Collard's going to get a rematch with, he's got the WBA belt, and there isn't a super champion at that weight, at lightweight. But it's an awkward one because, like I said, there are a countless, you know, like Danny Jacobs, middleweight WBA champion, Keith Thurman, WBA.
Yeah.
And these are good fighters. So,
but again, me personally, going back with my argument with the IBO I had with Robin Reed and the WBF, I have to stand true to what I'm saying. So therefore, I have to say there should only be one. There can only be one. It's not, even thinking about it now, even talking about it, there can only be one world champion in one governing body, can't there? I mean, it's nuts. So basically, you're the interim champion, aren't you? Really and truly.
No, because that's a whole new, like, for example, middleweight, you've got Golovkin, WBA super, Danny Jacobs, regular, Chris Eubank Jr., interim. So effectively, you've got three world champions in that weight.
Anyway, I'm getting a headache thinking about it.
But anyway, the argument won't stop here, it will carry on today. But anyway, you enjoy your bit of food. Did you just check your watch?
Because you was looking at it. Dinner, dude. You ordered me something.
You better go.
Right,
Darren Barker, thanks for talking to iFL TV.
Having dinner.
Speak to you soon.
Good to see you.
You too. See you later.